So here's what's going on in the storm. Friday night, everything seems okay. I get back home, chilling out, the kids, watching TV. 9:35, cable and internet gets lost. There's been hardly any rain, a little bit of wind. I looked out the window. I regret not taking my video camera and chronologing any of those earlier parts. I wanted to, and I even thought about it because it was so eerie outside with all the streets dead and hardly any traffic. Cops cruising the street all over the place. Kind of spooky, actually. Gives you the creeps. But comforting in a strange way, if you're going to put it that way. 9:35, like I said, internet, cable goes out. So what am I doing? I'm watching reruns of the TiVos of the Presidential Forum on Civic Service from the night before. And then at about 11:30 or so, we lose power. It's still not raining that much, and there's still a little bit of wind, but not much to talk about. Hence, the strange blacklight video, if you haven't picked up to this. Ooh, you're enjoying modern technique of color. Well, we've got one car passing by. That's car number 6 since midnight. Not that I'm actually counting, and I haven't been sitting here by the door. But at about midnight, it started to get kind of creepy. The wind started to howl. The rain started to come down. The lights went out. Like I said, 11:30. The kids are gone to bed. The wife's gone to bed. About 1:30, 2 o'clock, it started to get pretty loud. And so I brought the chair out here by the front door and started to look. Now, as you know, if you listen to the Hot Complex show, we talk about a lot of different things. And as is always the case, I come to you live out of Houston, Texas, and I've lived here for many, many years, and so I've dealt with weather. And Houston weather and Houston rain is unlike anywhere else in the world. If you haven't lived in Houston, then you don't know what it is to see rain. Now, I've been in monsoon season in India, so I know what rain is like also, and seen flooding. But for most people who live in the domestic United States, when they come to Houston and they see what it's like to have rain and how the streets get flooded and what happens to this city when it really pours down, it's a crazy, crazy city to live in during the rain. So I understand Houston rain and Houston weather, and I've had family members, not myself, the family members flood the car, which is very common here in Houston, Texas. And also, there's been accidents and other situations where buses, for example, just right by this location, couldn't see how deep the water was. Many locations in Houston, it looks like it's shallow, but it's 3-4 feet, and you get stuck in there, and there's been cases of fatalities. So, Houston weather is not to be mocked. But somewhere after 3 o'clock, the weather out here started to get insane. And the wind, and the wind. And branches have been falling down and cracking. There's a branch hanging right here through the door. But in the last 45 minutes or so, from about 3:30 to about 4 o'clock, the level of the wind and the strength of the power has been something else. Something more than I've ever seen. And I'm kind of staying on guard because nights like this, it does make you think. I mean, you look at the power of the strength of nature and you have to have faith. I don't understand how you can not have faith. The other thing about not having power and being totally in the dark is that. Did you see that? Me freaking out. That's a branch just dropping and it freaks you out. I was trying to say, being totally in the dark and during a storm like this is, the storm plays tricks with you. I mean, it plays tricks with you. I'm trying to speak loudly because I don't know how strongly this volume is going to be recorded here on the sound, because the wind around me is so loud, but the storm plays tricks with you, and you hear howling, and you hear screams, and you hear babies crying. Now, being a parent, I'm always listening all night for kids crying, because I have young children, and so it's not unlike them to cry out at night. But there's something about a storm that makes you hear things and play with your mind, especially in the dark. Especially in the dark. And so, subhanAllah, you know, there's a few candles here, but I shut them out, and the candles flicker, and you start to pay attention to nature more. And it started to make me think, and I wanted to record this because for many people, when there was a storm, they shut themselves off. Wow, that is so strong right there. I'm just trying to pay attention to some of the branches because, you know, I mean, going back to our conversation, if you're the type of person who gets more alert, a more heightened sense, a more acute awareness of your goings-on when natural catastrophes or natural elements are making you aware. Some people grow numb. Some people turn themselves off. Some people grow more alert. Some people say, oh, it's human nature for all people to act like that. But no, many people have numbed their senses to nature. I don't know if you can see that branch. I doubt you can. There's hardly any light out there. But there is something about the storm that makes you feel the presence of others around you and become in tune with nature. I'm hoping you can pick up that audio. Man, like I said, my mind's playing tricks on me and just start to see things. Alright, want to save battery power because this is the only juice I got. And I hope and I pray, inshallah, God willing, that they're incorrect when they were saying on the radio and on the news, right before this storm hit, that we were looking at 1, 2, 3 weeks without power. If that's the case, then I don't want to be wasting battery power shooting the shit, as we say. Alright, that's it for right now. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, September 13th, 2008. This is Salim Siddiqui. Yeah, I know you saw that. I was looking at the screen and I know you saw that. That's not lightning. It's strange. I've got to talk about this. It's not lightning. You don't see lightning flash and then you hear thunder, which is the weirdest part about being in a hurricane. It's like there's electromagnetic storms going on in a spiral above you in the sky. Subhanallah. I mean, you just look at that and you think, glory's only for God. You gotta just be freaking out when you see this. This one branch is just tripping me out right now, and I'm waiting for it to crack. It's cracked and it's hanging, and every time the wind blows, it starts to swing violently, and I'm waiting for it to swing and break off, and I want to run out there and grab on it, but it's pouring like crazy, and I'm scared that if it cracks at the wrong time while it swings, it could run right in here or into the window, and that's the last kind of crap I need right now. But yeah, I know you saw that light flash, and so it's not lightning. You don't see a lightning bolt. You just see the sky turn green because the rain is gray and it blocks the sun, and the light flashes like a phosphorescent glowing green, and it is the freakiest thing in the world. SubhanAllah. Alright. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.